Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of Draft to Glory Goon Squad. And today, well, we do the same thing we do every time, really. The journey continues. We're gonna sim through another season. We're gonna get through another draft. We're gonna see what kind of progression we can make. And then we're gonna do it all over again next time. But maybe, just maybe, at some point, we'll be a little bit closer to winning the thing called the Stanley Cup. That is the ultimate goal. And whether or not we can do that with this team, with this group of players, is yet to be determined. But we might not be that far off, considering some of the teams we've actually seen have success, throughout the course of NHL 18. Now, one of the things I was considering, and it was brought up in the comments of the last video, is what we do with Jonas Wharton and whether or not we send him back down to junior. I am going to start him on the third line as planned, but if he's kind of struggling, if he's not really showing that much improvement, we will send him down and we'll call someone up in return, but we're good to go. I've changed around some player types, like we changed Burnett from a two-way to a defensive D-man as we expected. I also finally changed Justice to a hybrid. Probably too late for that to actually have an effect, but we'll see if it does. And of course, the AHL is good to go as well. The last episode, of course, was tremendous for us, where we ended up having, without a doubt, our best draft yet from top to bottom. It came at a very good time in this series where we are finally letting go. It's just our prospects. This is that turning point where we are either going to sink or swim, mainly due to the morale, and that couldn't have come at a better time. Not to mention, the upcoming draft could be solid for us, whether that includes Evan Wyman, Ethan Zajac, or the already ever so popular Marty Dick. We'll see what happens. But needless to say, we have ourselves a strategy moving forward. It took us a little bit to fully commit to that strategy. We had to miss out on some half-decent players, but there's no doubt about it. For the most part, the strategy of acquiring, or drafting, I should say, 20-year-olds with no league interest appears to be the way to go, and that is definitely something we will look to take advantage of in this upcoming draft, mainly because we have a few extra picks because of some of the guys that we had to trade away. So this could be another fairly interesting episode. Do I expect to find success? Not really. I'd be shocked if it turned out that we're somehow a playoff team. The closer to contention we are, though, the better. I'm not really, cashing in or banking on. Yeah, banking on would be the right way to phrase it. I'm not really hopeful of a top 10 spot. I think we'd be okay, mainly because I know people want me to draft Marty Dick. Good year for rookies, which is a good sign for us. Although, I'd say about half the time we see that it's going to be a good year for rookies, that means the top of the draft is kind of weak, but those middle rounds and like the third, fourth round, fifth round even are solid. So I'm intrigued to see how this episode's going to go. But yeah, I had another thought in mind there and I lost it once I saw that was a thing. It's the same keys. It's tough because it's not like I'm losing interest, but it is tough to kind of sell you guys on, hey, this is what this episode's going to be, because guess what? It's going to be the same thing it's been. But at some point, we will eventually make our way towards contention. Is this the season? I'm not entirely sure. But like I mentioned, and this is what I was talking about, is if we're going to draft Marty Dick, we don't need a top 10 selection. So now's as good of a year as any to actually be a little bit better than maybe we have the right to be. So there is no pressure, although you watch. We'll pull a Philadelphia and we'll end up with like the second overall pick despite having our best season yet. Somehow, some way that will happen. Speaking of best season yet, San Diego Gulls, 19-12-0. Interesting to not have that team interesting to not have had that team lose in overtime yet. Whereas with the Ducks, we already have 6 overtime losses. And we're actually doing all right here in our final 2 games. Well, 3 losses. Yeah, 3 straight losses. There we go. We were doing all right up until those games. We've gone on a little bit of a losing streak here. That's now 5 in a row. 20, 15, and 7. And you know what? At this point, actually, we're probably too far into it to even make it worth sending Wharton back down. So while I am stopping the sim here, I'm just going to continue it. We're committing to it, whether or not it makes sense, whether or not it would have been more beneficial to, maybe send him down for the year. Maybe it would have been more beneficial to not have to sign him at all, or to have not signed him at all until we were forced to. Otherwise, of course, risking losing him as an unrestricted free agent, just to not waste any years on the contracts. But we have enough money to throw around, and we will continue to have enough money to throw around until we get into serious contention, that it shouldn't really be too much of an issue. We are still having to rely on signing guys like De La Rose and Barberio to take up a sizable amount of our cap hit, that we're in a fine spot. So, if we get to the point where we got to start handing out 9 to like 12, 13 million, well, 13 is probably a bit tough. We'll go $8 to $12 million contracts. If we get to that point, we have to sign multiple players to a deal like that, then yeah, it could be a tad bit problematic. For now, with where we are in the series, I still don't expect us to hit that point. Obviously, whether it's the goaltender in Brodin, McDonough, Nolan Foote, the way he's progressed, Jay Graves at center, we do have some players that are going to want those bigger contracts, but it's really once you get to a certain spot where like everybody wants a deal like that, even your 4th line guys are asking for $3 million. Once you get to that point, you have to be a bit selective with the contracts you hand out. For now, we're good. And as we have hit the month of March here, I do want to take a look at where we are in the standings. I don't expect us to be in a playoff spot, of course. Although we are only 4 points out, although Arizona have 2 games at hand. So we're not horrifically outside the playoff structure. Like, we're not a completely awful team. If we can manage to string together some wins, we might, in fact, make the playoffs. Something I want to note here, Nolan Foote's an 88. I did change Connor Roberts to a power forward. I feel like that's paid dividends this season. He's doing all right. And Zach Aronson was also changed to a power forward to have him be a little bit more offensive. That top line's doing all right. The 3rd line was kind of the youth line. Nabokov was not a 4th line forward before, so he's progressing. He's doing well. Wharton's at least gone up to a 76. And Trent Chelios has also done all right. I'm feeling good about this team. I'm feeling pretty good about this team. No goals, but 16 assists. Say hello to the team's Riley Sheahan, apparently. On defense, Hines is back to an 83. That is what I was really worried about. McDonough has 18 points. Hines only has 9 points, but crucially, he's not upset. By the way, Finley's gone up like 5 points already. My God, and Brodin's an 88, and he's killing it. Marcus Brodin, if we make the playoffs this year, he is a big part, if not the sole reason, as to why we will. Let's sim through this last month. We know we're in playoff contention. This could be a very special episode, guys. This could be the one where we finally make the playoffs. And if we don't, again, that's okay. But it shows that we are getting there. It's that point in the series where we're starting to put it together. Again, the team is made up right now, as was always planned, of prospects that we've drafted. And while we might not be there yet, the goaltending is looking good. The defense is progressing. We have our main man on defense. The forward core is getting better. We might not be there yet, but I would say within the next 2 years, we're going to make the playoffs, maybe even as soon as next year. It's not going to happen this year, obviously, as down the stretch we have lost way too many games. The San Diego Gulls, though, with 47 wins, will absolutely be making a postseason appearance here, so we will have some playoff hockey to follow along with, as we are, we're a little bit too far behind now. I'm hoping, though, we still manage to finish ahead of Vegas. Again, I want as high of a finish as we can get. We also have 72 locker room chemistry, which is a very good sign. That's the highest it's been throughout the course of this series, if I'm not mistaken. But let's sim these last 3 games here. Can we end the season on a high note, and we won 2 out of 3. Not too bad. If it's good enough for Meatloaf, it's good enough for me. 36 wins on the year. Those 11 overtime losses definitely propped us up a bit. 48 wins for the San Diego Gulls. Again, barring a miracle, they are making the postseason. We finished 11 points out. We were in the dominant division. 5 teams make it from the Pacific this year. So while we won't take a look at player progression, we will at least take a look at the season stats for both the NHL and the AHL as we, get ready for a postseason run. So Nolan Foote, 18 goals, 32 assists, not too bad. Down from last year, though. We had 62 points last year. It's actually his lowest point total since his sophomore season. So that's a tad bit disappointing. But he is up to an 88, so I'm all right with that. Jay Graves, I'm pretty sure, just had a career year. He didn't. Again, his scoring was down a little bit as well. He had hit the 60-point mark twice in the past 2 seasons. So scoring was down, among the top line there, and for Zanetti as well. So interesting. I'm still happy with their point totals, but surprised to see that all 3 failed to hit the marks they'd set over the previous past 2 seasons. Anderson McDonald, let's see, with 15 goals and 24 assists, back up to 39 points. He had a career high of 50, and of course he won the Calder in 2022 with 46 points, despite being a minus 56. So not his best year either. It's funny, though. We have our best season as a team, yet some players haven't done as well individually. As Connor Roberts has his best season as an NHLer. He had 1 more assist this year than he did last year. Zach Aronson in his sophomore year improved on his point total with 42. He had 36 the previous season. Sergei Nabokov on the third line, though. 24 goals and 40 points as a rookie on our third line. He might have a chance for the Calder. 24 goals as a rookie is very good. Speaking of decent point totals for rookies, Jonas Wharton with 27 points. He was a plus 14, by the way. Tremendous. And Trent Chelios in his rookie year as well, 41 points. So that third line, that rookie line, did incredibly well. 2 medium elites and a medium top 9. Sergei Nabokov, only a medium top 9 at 21 years old, 77 overall, but 24 goals. And you look at his shooting category, I'm not really sure why. This game, hey, I'll take 24 goals out of a former 6th-round pick. No doubt about that. Yuri Leeson, of course, made the NHL this time out. Only had 18 points. That was actually his 3rd year on the team. 18 points matched his career high. Rodney Thompson, no goals, 18 points. New career high, though he only had 10 points last year. And Kelly Downing with 20 points this season. Unfortunately, it had 30. The previous year, but although I think Downing was on the third line last year. So I'm not surprised we didn't make the playoffs, but if certain players had matched their previous point production from the year before, I think we would have made it. No doubt. Nolan Foote, Graves, and Zanetti each get about 10 more points each. I think we would have made it. Frederick McDonough finished with 20 points, so he's good for 20 points a year. Had 15 in his rookie year. Can you believe this was Frederick McDonough's 4th season already on the team? Unreal. Stephen Hines has been here for even longer. This was his 6th year. Again, not the biggest point guy. And it's going to be tough for defensive D-man to put up points. I still say if we change McDonough to a 2-way, if we were allowed to change him to a 2-way, he would do much better, I think. I think he'd be good for at least 40. Hines, though, as far as offensive awareness, not good. Shockingly. Clinton Likens, former 5th overall pick, had 6 goals and 15 assists in his 3rd year in the league, a new career high. Not too bad. Pete Lang in his rookie year, 5 points. He was a -6, not too bad. Edwin Burnett, his rookie year, he put up 13 points. And Seth Finley in his rookie year, 2 points in 82 games, a -15. But you will have noticed some overall changes, no doubt. Marcus Brodin, again, the only reason why we were even close to contention. And in fairness, Justice killed it this year. He only appeared in 11 games, but he had a .925 save percentage, so he did incredibly well. And down in the AHL, Neil Green is up to a 76, 5 goals and 18 assists. Larry Flynn, 22 goals, 45 assists, 23 goals for Cedric Horkoff. That was one of the big picks from this past draft, and he had a very solid rookie year. I believe it was this draft, as that glitched out. Yeah, that was his rookie year in the AHL. So there you go. Kenny Maurer had a strong season, 37 points. Reefers did well. Reginald Osborne, though, 17 points as a 61 overall enforcer. I'm cool with that. Earl Roach, 23 goals, 24 assists. Barlow did all right. And Koski Ranta in his rookie year, 35 points. I'll take it. Gustafson did well. Callie Sjogren killed it. I mean, you're talking about someone who's going to be pushing for an NHL spot next year, no doubt. And Mason Primo as well, another one of the veterans on the team, did pretty damn well. And Pushkarev, man, 74 overall. Not much in terms of points, 15 in total. 12 for Travis Carter. 6 assists only for Lalanset. Cowan with 12 assists. So not much of a scoring presence from our defense. It was all offense. Stefan Lapointe was the goaltender with a .925 save percentage and a .911 for Nikola. Again, that team that we just took a look at is heading to the postseason. We will follow along and see if they can maybe do a little bit of damage once we get to the end of the season. Actually, let's take a look at rookie scoring really quickly. Once we get to the end of the season, we'll look at the progress reports, as we always do. That is when you kind of get your finalized improvements for the season. So we'll wait until that point. But I want to take a look at, actually in general here, I know some people still like to see the penalty minutes. He's actually the rookie in Jonas Wharton. Shooting percentage was Wharton, though, as well, 14.3%. Not too shabby. Who was our best face-off man? Thompson, only 52%. The hit leader, surprise, surprise, Frederick McDonough with 217. He was also the blocks leader. We had 5 players block 100 or more shots. That is impressive. And as far as fights, we have a new replacement for Jake Dotchin. Jonas Wharton is like Brad Marchand on steroids in terms of being an agitator, except he'll also drop the gloves. Only 83 aggressiveness, 78 fight skill, but he is scrappy at 6 foot 183. That is tremendous. What a first round pick, a 4th overall selection. He was. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Jake Dotchin, though, in Colorado, did lead the league in fights this season. So there you go. Actually, penalty minutes was Jake Dotchin. Wharton was second. And we'll take a look at hits. It was Hannafin, Hughes, and then Freddie. Good old Freddie McDonough. And then, of course, we know that Dotchin led in fights. As you can take a look there at the scoring leaders on your own time. But for rookie skaters, damn it. Ted Emerton, 51 points. So, unfortunately for us, no Calder unless they give it to Nabokov. I'm trying to hold off burping. I couldn't. Unless they give it to Nabokov based on goals, but I doubt it. So, 2 or a couple, actually more than a couple, impressive rookie performances from our guys this time out. Don't think we'll see any hardware from it, much like Anderson McDonald won the Calder in his rookie year. But a solid season. That was step 1. Have a solid season. For the NHL squad, we kind of solidified. The locker room chemistry hasn't plummeted. We saw some good progression. Some players underperformed. But I feel like that was a good season. And then at the AHL level, it's gone according to plan. I mean, we have made the playoffs. That is more than what I could have asked for. So I'm feeling really good now about where this team is, although I did want to check. The last thing I wanted to check here was goal scoring. I want to see where if it was down for us here. So we actually didn't have the lowest goals for per game average. We were 4th lowest in the league. The New York Rangers must have sucked. Goals against, only a 2.48. So we were mid-table for goals against. So that is the power of Eunice Brodin. Eunice Brodin? Marcus Brodin. Let's see. Our power play percentage was 4th in the league. That also went a long way. Although our penalty kill was bottom 5. Actually, I thought we were going to have the worst penalty kill in the league. I mean, there you go. Case in point, we are getting better, as you would have hoped. And actually, let's check the AHL scoring. Why not? We don't got to rush into this. We were third. All right, I thought we would have done better with 48 wins. We were third in the Pacific Division of the AHL. So let's go ahead and follow along with our Gulls here. Let's follow along on their journey. It's the Gulls and the Barracuda in the first round. We'll sim the first 2 games. We'll see what happens. 5-1 loss and a 2-0 win. All right, let's go in-depth sim here since we split those games. Why not? It's our first bit of serious playoff action. Let's see what we can do here. First period of game 3, and we're up 4-1. Nizhnikov got the opening goal, only for Horkoff, Gustafsson, Koski-Ranta, and Horkoff to get a second one. 4-1. Second period, that score stays the same. Third period, the score stays the same. What a first period from the Gulls. What a shutdown performance from our goaltender there, Lapointe. Cedric Horkoff gets your first star of the game nod with 2 goals. And we have a 2-1 series lead on the Barracuda. It's not too bad. We'll jump into game 4. A chance here to end this series and to find some postseason success. First period is not ideal. Lettinen and Sterling get the opening 2 goals. We only had 5 shots. Second period, we get one back. It's Horkoff again. He is a monster, isn't he? 22 shots to 14. I'm not going to do the slow sim. Let's just hit the button and see what happens. Third period, can we tie this up? No. Well, we did, technically. Reefers gets the goal. Laponov strikes. He also gets an empty netter to end the game. We will go to a decisive game 5 in this series. A 3-point night for Laponov. A 4-point night for Kimmo Lettinen. So it comes down to this chance to keep the season alive. It's game 5 in San Diego, or San Jose. I wish it was in San Diego on home ice. That would be tremendous. First period of game 5, and we get the opening goal. It's Larry Flynn. We're up 1-0. 15 shots to 5 in that first period. Second period, oh boy, Obergauer tied it, only for Osborne and Maurer to get the goals back. It's 3-1 as we are about to sim the third period. Do we have a playoff victory with the San Diego Gulls? Yes, we do. Nizhnikov gave us a little bit of a scare to make it 3-2. Flynn and Primo get the insurance. 5-2 final in game 5 and a 3-2 series victory in round 1 against the Barracuda. The Gulls are moving on. Tremendous. Anything else from here is just a bonus. We have to play the Tucson Roadrunners in the next round. They have home ice advantage. We're going to jump right into it. Let's see what we can do against Tucson in the second round. So first period of game 1, here we go. It's scoreless. Second period is also scoreless. Third period is not. The lone goal from Maurer. And the Gulls have a 1-0 series lead. There's something about this team, man. Stefan Lapointe, 29 saves here. First star of the game. Kenny Maurer gets the lone goal. And that is a tremendous way to kick things off. Send a message to the Roadrunners. We're here. We are a realistic threat, a legitimate threat. Call it what you will. We're here to play, is what I'm trying to say. Let's stop stumbling over all of my words and sim through game 2. First period, as Tucson gets the opening goal there with Laflemme. Second period, oh boy. All right, DeSalvatore made it 2-1. Roach gets a goal back. It's he made it 2-0. Roach makes it 2-1. As we are ready to sim the third period, we're being outshot 26-10. No expectations, but you never know. We might be able to pull off a miracle here. It was kind of close. Gustafsson tied it 49 seconds in. Carlos and Hedberg, though, ruin our hopes and dreams of a 2-0 series lead. Charles Carlos, tremendous name. Unfortunate performance, at least. If you were a fan of the Gulls, this series is tied at 1 game apiece. We'll jump into game 3. let's do this. We split the first 2 games of the last series. Let's see, though, if we can yet again end up on the right side of the result here in Game 3. First period, as Virtanen gets the opening goal. 16 shots to 5, by the way, in their favor. I don't think they were too happy with that first game and the end result. Second period, yeah, we're in trouble. 3-1. Huey made it 2-0. Maurer gets a goal back to make it 2-1. Hicketts makes it 3-1. Third period, and again, we kind of put up a fight with Horkoff, but in the end, it's a 6-2 final for Tucson. Passy Virtanen with a 2.9. Zach Bogosian in on defense had a fairly solid game for them. And we are down 2-1 here in the second round. I am going to sim Game 4 from the calendar. Maybe that'll give us a change of fortunes, or we'll be down 3-1, and that is exactly what happened. It's a 5-1 loss. Boys, it looks like the run's over. But to make it to the second round is a decent accomplishment. There you go. We lose in overtime in Game 5, and that will do it for our season. Despite the fact that we were just eliminated again, everything I said a few minutes ago still holds true. A very solid season for the Ducks. A tremendous season for the Gulls to just make it to the postseason in the first place, let alone to win a playoff series. We lost to the number 1 seed. The top team in our division. I'm assuming the top team in our conference. There's no real surprise there. At the end of the day, we have to look at this season for what it was. We lost to the eventual Calder Cup champions. There is no shame whatsoever in that. A very respectable season for this franchise as a whole. Larry Flynn had 8 points in 10 games. You know what? Let's take a look. Didn't mean to go to team stats. I want to look at our players. And, at the AHL level, I want to see how they did. 8 points for Flynn and Horkoff. Reefers and Sjugren with 6 points. Maurer, 4 goals. He did very well. I'm still happy with this team. I am happy with their performance. And like I said, I view this season as nothing else other than a success. I do want to take a look, though, at the eventual Cup winners. Tucson, Tony Cavallo was a 77. He did very well. Braden Schneider, 35-year-old Zach Bogosian, Michael Stone, with a mix of, so basically a mix of veterans. Dylan Hetherington, mix of veterans and rookies. Jay Hicketts had 24 points in 21 games. Alan McShane was there. So, yeah, like I said, decent mix of veterans, at least on defense. On offense, primarily players that they have drafted. The San Jose Sharks won the Stanley Cup. We'll take a look at what they looked like with forwards Andrei Svechnikov and Alex DeBrincat, Jesse Giordano, Nick Suzuki, Bjorkstrand, Patrick Kane, Lawson Lazar, Spencer Chuko, Matthew LaPierre, Joel Armia, and Anders Lee. On defense, you had Noah Juleson, Oliver. Okay, for the record, the San Jose Sharks, of course, I can't overlook this. The Sharks passed up on Frederick McDonough, and within a few years, they still won the Stanley Cup. I can't take it away from them. They made a terrible decision, but Spencer Chuko is a Stanley Cup champion before Frederick McDonough. As you would expect, of course. I mean, I would still much rather have Frederick McDonough, but Spencer Chuko. Is it Chuko or Chuko? I'm going with Chuko at this point. Or maybe Chuko, whatever. Chuckles the Clown here, who went first overall over Frederick McDonough. If I'm not mistaken, that was the same draft. I think that was 4 years ago now. But yeah, they went with Chuko, and he is a Stanley Cup champion. He's actually a great two-way player. Much better of a two-way player than a sniper. So that is interesting. Again, their defense looks to be about the same with Noah Juleson, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I don't think Roman Josi was there. Brody was still there, and Zadorov. Stephen Brewer, I think, is also new. The goaltender was Eric Comrie, 86 overall, and he killed it. So, still a decent team. You could argue that team would have looked even better with Frederick McDonough anchoring that defense, but one way or another, they were still able to get it done. So, We joked about losing in the Stanley Cup final to Chuco and the San Jose Sharks. We didn't get the opportunity, but they made it there. We have not. And indeed, it was that 2022 draft. So very, very interesting to see the Sharks find postseason success already. They beat the New Jersey Devils in 6 games. That is, I don't know how I feel about that, guys. San Jose winning the cup. The Devils won the Presidents for the 2nd consecutive year, or just consecutive years. And yeah, they couldn't do anything with it. Laine won the Art Ross and the Hart. Thomas Chabot won the Norris. Stamkos, the Lady Byng. Emerton, in fact, won the Calder. Conn Smythe went to Eric Comrie. No surprise once we saw his numbers. Matt Murray wins his 3rd straight Vezina. Bogosian in Edmonton wins the Jennings. The Masterton goes to Horkoff, not our player, of course. Connor McDavid wins the Selke again. For those who are wondering, like, why the hell does McDavid win every time? I think he's like a 93 defensive awareness starting, and he's fast as hell. That's why. As Laine wins the Lindsay and the Rocket Richard. Down in the AHL, did we take home any hardware? I doubt it. We did not. All right, so still no pieces of individual hardware. The Roadrunners won their 3rd Calder Cup in 4 seasons. They are quickly turning into the Grand Rapids Griffins of rebuilding Hockeytown. That is insane. 3 cups in 4 years. Again, no shame whatsoever in this particular AHL team losing to the Roadrunners in 5 games in the 2nd round. So I'm feeling great right now. Hopefully that continues as we go through the draft, as we end up with the 10th pick. I said I didn't really care if we missed out on a top 5 pick or even a top 10 pick. We end up with the 10th pick of the draft. I imagine our normal pick, like 2nd round and later, will end up being a little bit higher than that, as De La Rose and Barbario both retire, not major losses, and we did not lose a goaltender. All right, let's take a look league-wide here. Backstrom, Oshie, James Neal, the top 3 point getters. You can see some of the other names that are up there. Mason, Varlamov, Ranta, and Condon also retired. So it's been a very strong episode so far. Despite the fact that I'm a little bit off-put by the Sharks winning the Cup, things have gone very well. The last draft was incredible. We may have a very strong chance here at drafting Marty Dick with that 10th pick. We're going to take a look at the draft class. I'm feeling good. Let's see. Again, the goal is 5 out of 7. If we can hit on 5 of these picks, I'll be feeling pretty damn good. Of course, we're going to miss out on Wyman, Yell, Lundmark. Potentially we could get Zajac. And then as we scroll down here, Marty Dick is available. And he's actually projected to be a little bit lower than we expected. We don't really need a goaltender unless we have a feeling that they're going to be great. So, guys, I think we're going to be drafting Marty Dick here. I think you're going to get your wish unless somebody goes off the board. So let's sim to our pick here. We'll scroll back through. And unlike last time, the top pick in the draft was actually pretty good, Gertzen, an 82. Wyman would have been a very solid pickup. I think if we had had McDonough, Wyman, and Hines as our top 3, that would have been tremendous. Not to mention Likens is there as well. So that would have been a very strong addition to our defense, but I would have rather had the season that we had and shown the progression. That's a fair trade-off at the very least. No Frederick McDonoughs, by the way, in this draft so far. As Eckford went, Yell was fairly decent, medium top 6. Zajac as well was fairly decent, but I mean, I think I'd get ripped to shreds in the comments section if I don't draft a certain somebody here. It's very rare. Now, here's the thing. We know Lundmark is decent. Wayne Lundmark, a power forward. He's got some green stats in there. I got a feeling he's about, mid-60s. But there's one guy that people said I have to draft. The aggressiveness as a grinder really concerns me, even though it's only high and not completely accurate. I am very concerned that he's going to be medium elite, but in the 50s. Very concerned about that. I think, and here's the thing, right? I'm going on record right now, Lundmark or Edwin Hood in goal will more than likely stand to be the better option. Not to mention Victor Winquist, who is 20 years old. He does have high league interest, however. Could be another decent option that I would normally consider. But that said, there was one player that you guys really wanted me to take, or at least that a decent portion of you guys really wanted me to take. That was Marty Dick from the Ottawa 67s, because we are that immature around here. Maybe medium elite? Maybe, like medium elite, but really low overall. Let's find out. Marty Dick. There you go. I had a feeling, guys. Medium elite, but a very, very low starting overall. I had a feeling that was going to be the trade-off, but we have a medium elite grinder with the 10th pick. Again, we will scroll back through the second round, or through the first round, before we get to the second round. Like I said, there were better picks, no doubt. Lundmark, for example, was actually slightly better than Yell. Medium top 665 overall. Would have rather gone with him. He was the smarter pick. We went for the fun pick, the popular pick. We're going to be all right despite that selection. But, yeah, it is what it is, right? And actually, Hood wasn't that good of a goaltender. The Stars get B. Morrow, though. Not too bad. Yeah, this was not the draft for a goaltender either. Del Rio, a similar selection there for Edmonton. We didn't really miss out on anybody. I'm concerned that San Jose just ended up with a medium bottom 6 guy with the last pick, and then Winquist was selected. He would have been a nice player to end up with. And actually, where are we? Are we still 10th? We're still 10th. Just outright, we are in 10th. All right. Well, there we go. Actually, yeah, I guess that does make sense. I thought we would have been pushed down and that there would have been some big movers. That's not the case. We just outright have the 10th pick, which brings us to the second round here. Victor Potter kind of fits it. Kress, or it's probably Kreis as a German. 6'6". Look at the greens. He is my pick. Holy shit. No. Guys, oh my God, he's going to be really good. Look at that starting defensive awareness. I know it's high and not accurate or exact, but holy shit. We're talking a 70 overall player here, if not more. He is no doubt the pick. No doubt. Gunderson would be more of a shot in the dark anyway. We also have Joseph Gomez, who we know nothing about. Shout out to Liverpool. Shelley has a bottom 6, obviously not. And yeah, then we start getting into the second to third round. Bucieris is listed there. We got another power forward in Reginald Pecker. No, I am not selecting a Dick and a Pecker in the same draft. Yes, I want to. Yes, I want to. Oh, God, but he's 20 with no, God. He's 20 with no league interest. We took Dick in the first round. Don't take that out of context. And we could take Pecker in the second. This is actually kind of a decision now. It's not at all. There is clearly one decision to make here. Oh my God. Of course. Just of course. That had to happen at this stage of the draft. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I have a feeling, I mean, come on. I know some of you are going to say take Reginald Pecker here with the pick, but I can't. We have to. I selected Marty Dick in the first round when I knew he wasn't going to be the best pick. That's the only time. There's no way we are passing up on Sebastian Kreis. There is no way. You know how good he's going to be. This is like EA's gift to me for being nice to you and selecting the player you wanted. Sebastian Kress. Kress is the pick. My God, we've done it again, boys. Oh my God, he's not franchise, but medium elite 78 overall. EA, like, what did I do to deserve this love? Are you kidding me? He's better than Wyman. This doesn't make sense. Oh my God, this series is amazing. 78. I was expecting like 72. Medium elite 78. He is the best defenseman in this draft. We take Marty Dick with the 10th pick. Medium elite 53. And then I get the defenseman that I could only wish for. Our top 4 is sorted. It's Kreis and Likens, Hines, and McDonough. Our top 4 is sorted. We have our Ken Janes and who, God, I can't remember the other guys from the original Draft to Glory. Holy shit, guys. Like, that is a very, like, for this, I mean, that's a great pick in general. For this series, that is a series-altering pick right there. Just what a, oh my God, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Gunderson would have been a disaster. The big question is Pecker. Funny enough. And how good will he be? Shelley was awful. And yeah, see, Pecker was decent, right? Honestly, we couldn't have gone wrong. I don't know, man. I get a feeling this is going to be a tad bit controversial. There is clearly one way to go, but I know some of you are going to be like, yeah, but your second line could have been center Marty Dick with Reginald Pecker on his right wing. And they both might end up being decent. Obviously, Pecker at medium top 6, 69 overall. Fucking hilarious, by the way. Pecker, 69 overall. EA, you are on fine form in this draft, let me tell you. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wish I didn't even draft Marty Dick now. I wish, in hindsight, I took Lundmark, 65 overall. Lundmark and Pecker would have, or Lundmark and the defenseman Kress that we just ended up with would have both been very solid additions, because now I feel like it should have been Lundmark and Kress or Marty Dick and Pecker. It should have been, like, they had to be like the Sedin twins. You could only take one if you're taking the other, and we broke that rule. I still, oh man, yeah, Lundmark would have been a really solid pick at 65 overall, medium top 6. I don't know, guys. This has been a tremendous draft for us. Some of you are going to be like, nope, hey, what? Who cares about what those idiots think? You have done the right thing both times, with the exception, of course, of drafting Marty Dick. Again, I said when I took him, like, I could see by the greens, he wasn't going to be the best starting overall, but this has been something else as a draft so far. This draft luck has continued in a very big way, and I need to blow my nose is what I need to do. All right, we're good. Well, let's move on. Let's see who we're getting in the third round. I will shut up about who we should have taken in the first and who we took in the second. What's done is done. Now our job is to find the next great player. We have hit absolutely on that second round pick. Say what you want about the first. I said I was going to shut up about it. Here we are. We've done very well, though, so far in this draft. Now we need to add to it. Oh, I saw no league interest. He's 19, not 20. All right, power forward with high league interest, Christopher Haynes. Still in the third to fourth round. All right, so we could go for Hadar. He's 19, but with no league interest. We could go for Hadar. Actually, who else do we have here? We have 5 minutes to look around. Do we have any exact potentials here later on? Ooh. Melvin Delzato. Probably low elite. That could be a very good pick for us. Also, this sniper, 18 though. This goalie, 19 with no league interest. I mean, we scouted him 11 times, which means he's probably garbage. Defenseman, 20 with no league interest. He might be the one that I break the rule for. I mean, he's at least a slightly bigger player. With no league interest, he might be a guy that we break the rule for. So 6th and 7th round, we could get somebody tremendous. Shannon Coburn, not as safe as a bet. Neither is Vishnevsky. We do have an exact starter goalie in the 7th round as well. Oh my God! So yeah, there are 3 guys projected in the 7th round who look like they're worth taking. And even this power forward Janik, he's exact top 9. But look at some of those starting attributes. Holy shit. 91 stick checking? There's a really good chance of him being a high top 9 or even exact even a medium top 9 with still having a good overall. Guys, we are looking good here for this draft. So that's what? 1, 2. It might be worth taking that goalie there. So 3. We're talking 4 players here. So very soon, I'm going to start looking at those guys. So we really need to deliver on this pick. So that is the question. Do we want to take the risk then with the power forward Hadar? I don't think I do. I kind of want more of a sure thing. Let's see. Defensive D-man exact 7th? Absolutely not. Another defensive D-man exact top 6? Absolutely not. There's this goalie in Kreider. Not going to go for it. I mean, the stats are half decent. I got a feeling, though, he's going to be quite a low overall. I don't know. He's an interesting one because of the no league interest. I'm intrigued by him and the other goalie. I think it was a French goalie projected later in the draft. I have a feeling Kreider's going to be pretty decent there, but there's no real guarantee of it. I mean, if he's better than exact starter, then hey, we missed out. But a goalie's not an extreme necessity. Timothy Edmonds, no real guarantee there either. Let's take a look here. Defensive D-man in Yoensu, 17 years old, could be pretty decent. Ackerland, we're down to 2 minutes here. Power forward and Jesus Brindamore. I mean, you guys know me. I'm got no problem selecting Jesuses in this, or would it be Jesus I in this in these drafts? But I don't think that's the right time either. Tuparainen is available. I mean, we're down into 5th round projections, looking for players that kind of fit the bill here. Gordy John Lall. We have Dean Howe. Another guy here, Shirokov, not quite where we want him to be at 20 years old, but he could still be good. We have another defensive D-man here, and Tim Fair. He is 20, but with high league interest. Shannon Coburn, again, with somebody else who might fit the bill for what we're looking for. It's actually tough here. We got the exact grinder there. Defensive D-man, high league interest. I mean, there's some of those 19-year-olds that might be worth selecting. Jody Bitts is there. Bruce Cogliano. Oh, hold on. There we go. Wade Dodge, the grinder. We finally found somebody that fits that bill of being a 20-year-old with no league interest. Dodge may just be the pick because of all those other guys in the draft that I'm intrigued by. Not to mention, we are struggling to find players, the 20-year-olds with no league interest. Whether or not that pays off, again, I'm not sure. There is that enforcer Tunney, which means I might not take the goaltender. But yeah, we're going back here to Dodge. I think he's going to be our next pick. Projected for the 6th round. We are taking him here in round 3. Wade Dodge, the grinder. Medium top 9, 65 overall. Not too bad. Better than what anybody has picked recently. Stafford's decent for Nashville. That is the best pick of the 3rd round so far. We are 3 for 3, in my humble opinion. No doubt about it. We'll take a look at the rest of the 3rd to see if anybody got a steal or even anything better than Dodge. And Dodge might go down as the best pick of the 3rd round. Holy hell, boys. Oh, yeah. He was the best pick of the 3rd round. Tremendous. Low top 6 for Daniel, but he's a little bit of a ways off. I mean, yeah, Dodge is arguably the top pick in the last round and a half. So that was tremendous. We are going to scroll down here. I'm still intrigued by Kreider, but I'm going to pass. I'm going to go way down to the 7th round here. We have the enforcer Tunney, and that's who I'm going to go for next. I think he's the only enforcer projected to actually be drafted, if I'm not mistaken. And if that is the case, we will definitely take him here before we start focusing on those other players. There is the other enforcer in Drew Nevins, but he's projected to go undrafted. So we will take our enforcer now, and then we'll focus on the other players here that are projected in the 7th round. So Lawrence Tunney from the Oshawa Generals, 6'5", 239-pound, 19-year-old enforcer is our pick. And medium 7th, 54 overall. That's not terrible for an enforcer. 54 starting overall is actually not too bad. Was it worth it as a 4th round pick? Probably not. As Kreider was fringe. All right, good. I'm glad we Didn't fall for that. Scouted him 11 times. Shows up as medium elite, and he's actually fringe. This game, man, is something else. It is something else. But, you know, I'm not exactly regretting the pick. Edmonds would have been a fairly decent pick for us. Kuhlman, not really. I mean, all things considered, as Paille was medium elite, God, 2 back-to-back medium elite goalies. One was a 60, one was a 50, though. All things considered, we did all right there. We absolutely did all right there. So, let's see here. We're going to go back down to the 7th round. Who do we have? We weren't intrigued by Flynn. Wyman we don't have to care about. Noakes, 20 years old, defensive D, no league interest. Noakes could be very solid. Very solid. All right, who else do we have? We got Brooks, the exact starter. Tom Brooks. Frazee. Who else do we have here? Defensive D-man. Nope, he doesn't fit the bill. We do have this power forward, though. He's 20. High league interest, though. So it's a little bit of a risk. We have the exact elite defensive D-man that I almost forgot about. Lee Morrow, you would avoid. This goaltender's 18. Defensive D-man. Kyle Sanford could also work. McMillan could also work. And he has some solid greens. He's a really good skater, too. Guys, I think we just found our next pick in McMillan here. Who else is projected? Jesus, there's a lot of players still projected for the 7th round. I'll unpin that guy. This two-way in Krause, I was tempted to break my rules for. Not as many greens, though, as the other one. So I'm wondering, actually, how good he's going to be. And we also have Janik, this power forward, who also had some very solid greens. So I'm thinking we can avoid Kruger. I know I have 50 seconds. McMillan. Yeah, I'm thinking McMillan and Janik are 2 of our next picks. McMillan's our next pick, no doubt. Look at some of these greens. 20 years old, no league interest. From just out of the U.S., the NCAA. 6'3", 205, Kenny McMillan. Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. Low elite, 70 overall, starting for a 5th round pick. I was hoping for like high top 4. Low elite's not bad though. And again, for this series, where this is the only way we get players. Oh my God, we have the extra picks too. Oh my God, everything's coming up Millhouse, boys. Oh my God. I forgot all about all the extra picks. I forgot all about them. Look at this. I'm going to get everybody. Is this unfair? Guys, we're going to have to decide right now, is this unfair? Because I ended up getting back quite a few picks. We know we're going to get some steals here. I thought it was going to go down as a controversial episode because of what I just did previously with who we selected in the first 2 rounds. Now, though, I'm really testing it. We're not supposed to necessarily have this many draft picks. It's either I let players walk for nothing or I at least get something back for them. And at this point, because of the draft picks that we have, we are about to make things happen. We're about to have a very successful draft. So I will say this. Depending on how well this goes, if this ruins the enjoyment of the series for some of you, I absolutely get it. All right? I do. 1,000%, because this admittedly is overboard. I would say by getting this many draft picks. No doubt about it. It is a tad bit overboard. That said, it's a series in which we have no advantages whatsoever, and at the end of the day, it is supposed to be fun, is it not? So I think for that reason, I'm just going to go for it. Who was the guy we just looked at? Was it the power forward? Who the hell did we just look at? Was it Morrow? It wasn't Morrow. Who the hell did I just look at? It was Sanford. There we go. Can I pin him? No, I can't. All right, it was Sanford. And then there's Janik as well, who I am really intrigued to see how good he is. All right, I'm going for Evan Janik next just because of some of those attributes, particularly On the defensive side, Janik is the pick. Medium top 9, but a 72 overall to start. That is tremendous. Maybe not as good as I thought he'd be potential-wise. Thought he might have a chance for low top 6. All those pin players, guys, I'm going to be able to get. Oh, my God. I almost feel like it's... Again, I do feel like it's cheap in a way. But, like I said, we had one of two ways to handle it. Either I let go of scrubs for nothing, or at least get something back. The problem is, since we've discovered our new tactic here, it's almost a guarantee that we're going to get good picks. We'll put that theory to the test with Kyle Sanford. 6'4", 20 years old, no league interest. How good is he? And he's decent. Medium top 6 out of 68. He's nothing too crazy, but he's somebody that may just push for a spot on this team. So Janik is a solid pick for the series. Sanford is a decent pick. I would say for the most part we haven't had a bad pick in this draft. It's just a matter now of are we about to go overboard with the next 5 selections that we hopefully get to make. We have Tristan Noakes. We have the exact starter in Tom Brooks. We have Nicholas Hoagland. I think I'm going to go for the guarantee with Melvin Delzato, even though he's probably a low elite. Although I am intrigued by... Oh, God, I just noticed it's a Cademan. I don't think I can pick him anymore. Some of you won't get that joke. Some of you will. Let's go for Melvin Delzato next. Low elite, I'm sure. Low elite, 62 overall, but still not a bad addition. Oh, my God. Yeah, some of you are going to hate this, I'm sure. Others will just say, hey, who cares? Fuck it. Have fun. It's a series. Just go for it. So this will be an interesting episode to see the reaction for one way or another. I am going to refuse to pick Cademan until he's the last guy available. We're going to go for Tristan Noakes, the Canadian. 6'5", 229-pound defensive D-man. And again, he's nothing crazy. He might push for a third pairing spot, right? Nothing crazy. Decent pick, though. We're not getting McDonough's here at this point in time. Although, you know what? Cademan Krause. Cademan Krause. Medium top 665. All right, so we're just getting a whole lot of average right now. A whole lot of decent players. All right, I feel a little bit better about it now, though. Right, we're getting decent players. We're not getting these world beaters onto the team. We're going to go for Nicholas Hoagland, the Swede, next. We'll save Brooks for last. And Hoagland's a medium top 9. He's a 61, though. So he's a bit of a ways away. My God, Jesus, I still got one more pick after this one in this round. The problem is I got nowhere to trade these picks. Unless I go, 5 7th round picks for one next year. Which, to be honest, I might do. I might just throw these away. I am going to take Tom Brooks, as he is medium starter at a 50. So he's not even going to make it, right? Like at a 50 overall, he's not even going to make it. So I don't feel too bad about this. It makes the draft look better than it is. We're not getting these ridiculous, over-the-top steals that are really going to make this series that much easier. We are definitely getting helpful players, but again, it's nothing too outrageous. So don't worry, I'm not going to sit here and try to justify it. It is what it is. I mean, I made the decision to go forward with it after all. Can we find one more guy? No league interest for Peterson. He's 18, but we really don't have anybody left to pick at this point in time, at least with the no league interest strategy. We do have Morrow, who's not that great. That center doesn't really fit. We got this playmaker. 6'2". I mean, I could change into a power forward. We also got Arcabello, who I completely forgot about. Jody Arcabello, 6'5", high league interest at 20 years old. I mean, if there's anybody who gives us an outside chance for a steal, it is Jody Arcabello. Medium top 660 overall. All right, another decent pick to add to the ranks. I didn't see how many 7th round selections we have. Let's just see what happens. I don't know if I should go and look back through who was just selected. I doubt we've missed out on anybody, but maybe I'll still go back and look. Might be worth it. Let's see. Zimmerman, nope, not really. And then Kruger, 6'5" Swede, Can't really go wrong. Yeah, let's go back through and look here. I'm going to scroll through this very quickly, though, right? I mean, Svitov, Godfrey, some decent picks there, right? I mean, of course, we owned half of this round, so I'm sure there will be some decent picks that, in hindsight, probably, like that Grinder Mogilny, actually would have been pretty decent. So case in point, we're still missing out on some players on occasion where it's like, that actually would have been the better way to go. So it is what it is, as I love to say. Let's go for, I'm actually not going to break my rule with Vance, or am I? I'll save him for last. If he's still available, we'll take him. Let's take the Swede, Henrik Kruger, 6'5" Swede. Is also medium top 6, 59 overall. We'll take Vance next, or not Vance, the other Swede there, Peterson, 18-year-old defensive D-man. And if Vance is still on the board, we'll take him. And Peterson's arguably the worst pick of this draft. I'd rather have medium 7th. Morrow wasn't that good. Let's see. We didn't miss out on that playmaker. He's going to be the one guy I take from this draft where, actually, you know what? We might just go Enforcer. You know what? Screw it. I want to see how good he is. We'll change him to a power forward. Jose Vance is my final half-decent pick. Okay, well, Jesus. Medium top 9, 72 overall. All right, like I said, we will change him to a playmaker. The no league interest 20-year-old steal strategy works again. He is going to be the only guy, though, that I take because he at least has the size to make it worth changing him to a power forward. And I don't think anyone else does. So from here, my best guess is to just go ahead and have some fun and add some enforcers to the team. Yeah, we're in undrafted territory now. So let's see what we got for enforcers yet again, shall we? I'm actually going to look for forwards first. I don't think there will be any center enforcers. That is really quite rare. Whereas left wings, there you go. All right, so we got the 6'5" Timothy Fletcher. 6'6" Simon Cormier, 6'5" Ned Nesbitt, 6'7" Drew Nevins. Yep, let's take big Drew Nevins. AHL top 6, 58 overall. It's not too bad for an enforcer. He won't get close to the NHL level, but he could certainly punch faces at the AHL level, which is always nice to have a couple of face punchers there. Oh, let's see. Left wings. Actually, I do wonder here. How many picks do we have left after this? All right, this is our last pick. I'm going to see if we can just find a random guy that maybe somehow we possibly have some bit of info on, and he turns out to be great, rather than taking another enforcer. Let's look. So we'll sort this out. Zanetti the Sniper doesn't work. Is there anybody? Steve Faith might end up being decent, but I don't want to have to position change anybody else. Although there is a T. Rask here. Tommy Rask. Let's see, do we got anybody else that kind of has that player type that we're looking for? Not looking too good. I don't like the exact potentials, obviously. Let's scroll out of that. We got this Grinder here. 18 years old, though. That's unfortunate. We got another one. Another 18-year-old. What else do we got here? Another Grinder, 19 years old. All right. Another one. Lewis Jenner. Could work. We got a power forward, 18. Anybody else? Another power forward in Biega. Again, this is our last pick, so I really want to hit with this one here. Another Grinder in Tulipov. He is also 20. Another one in Bartlett. Once we get out of AHL top 6, that is when I stop scrolling through. A German, or once we get to 5 players pinned, in which case we'll just take our best guess, Francis Mui. Francis Mui. All right, and then Grinder Leonov is 18. I got 16 minutes to decide what the hell I want to do here, so that's tremendous. We got another Grinder in Travis Oshie, but he falls out of the ranks. So, we have 4 players here to pick from. We got the 6'2 German. Don't know any info on him. Although, I mean, if you could believe that skating and that shooting, huh? What a steal he would be if only you could believe that. Jenner, we know absolutely nothing about. This power forward, we know nothing about, but he is the biggest stature-wise. And then Tulipov. I think I want to go for Marco here. Marco Sinziger? Sinziger. Let's go with Sinziger because it doesn't sound as bad. We're going to take the German and Marco, and let's hope by some miracle he's actually decent. Low top 9, 63. Not bad. Not too shabby as we will bring this draft to a close. All of the extra picks certainly factored in. What a draft this was, though, boys. Another very successful draft in what brings to a close a calendar year that can only be described as our best by a very, very big margin. I mean, to get that German defenseman Kress, like I said, it's either Kress or Kreis. Depends on where you put the emphasis, I guess. To get him after selecting Marty Dick is just tremendous for us. And you look at our goaltending now, Brodin's at 91. I didn't even look at the progress reports. I just realized I didn't even look at the progress reports. I'm so sorry. That's the one thing I forgot to look at, and that's the first time that I actually forgot to look at it. And I think at this point, it wouldn't show the info from last season. I felt like I took so much time looking at everything else that I just skipped right past it, apparently. We have the hopeful team status, by the way. Nope, it still shows up. So Brodin is legitimately a 90, which is unreal. Graves got better. Zanetti also got better. Hines is up to an 83. So not only did Hines recover, he got better. Likens is an 82. Roberts is a 77, currently an 81, though, which is ridiculous. Chelios improved. Wharton absolutely improved. A lot of players had improvements, though. Nolan Foote's the only guy who didn't have any attributes change. Burnett went up by 4, which is very solid. 3-point improvement for Lapointe. Oh, my God. So Sebastian Kress, last year, at the start of the year, so he was available in the last draft at 18 years old, where he was a 59. He's up to a 78. What? That is ridiculous. Huh, it's funny how that works, huh? For someone who was available in the previous draft. Green improved. Finley improved by 5. Pushkarev, decent improvement as well. Gustafson, Reefers, Barlow, Horkoff. Guys, this is, oh my God. And then Janik and Vance did the same thing. Both 59s that improved up to a 72. It's just funny how the draft works like that, I guess. There are certainly some interesting notes here. Sanford improved by quite a bit. So, yeah, without a doubt, those 20-year-olds, basically just being overagers, I guess the AI just kind of sees them as, nope, they were never that good. And then they make that last-second improvement and turn into absolute monsters. Oh, it's weird how some of these guys are showing up as duplicates here. So I'll just scroll through this. You guys can, again, pause and check at your own leisure, although quite a few of the guys that we drafted are obviously continuing that trend of having just out-of-nowhere development at the end of the year to end up being good draft picks. So that is just how the game works. And guys, I think to avoid having this be like a monster marathon of an episode, we are going to call it here, mainly because, of course, we are going to have to factor in potentially letting go of some players and potentially trading some other players, and we're going to need to decide what we want to do. Are we okay with still doing the one-for-one player picks? Again, I don't want to do the buyout option because you can only buy out 3 contracts. So as far as I'm aware, unless they've changed that, but I'm pretty sure it's only 3. So do we want to do still just like the best one-for-one? So it's like if I trade Justice and I can get a 5th round for him, cool. If I trade Brooks and can only get a 7th, it is what it is. And then we end up with a lot of picks. Or am I only allowed to trade for 7th rounders? So for example, I do a 5-for-1 trade, my 5 prospects who I'm not going to use anymore, for 1 7th round pick. What sounds better? What are you okay with? Despite the fact that we had a lot of picks, we didn't really end up with a gigantic... I mean, we ended up with some useful players, no doubt, but none of those players selected towards the end are going to be like these game changers, like these game-changing level of picks. Like a Kress was. I am over the moon about this guy. I am so happy we ended up with Sebastian Kress. What an absolute steal this guy was. Tremendous. Our draft luck in the past few episodes, man, the past 2 in particular, has been simply unreal. And because of that, it's breathed new life into this series where I wasn't quite sure. As you guys know, if you've been along on this journey with me, I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen because of the locker room chemistry. And now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident about the future of this series. There's just a couple of things I want your input on. Good chance for you guys to give your feedback before we move on. In the next episode, we should go from... we should end up at next year's preseason, not like a few months from now preseason. We should get through another draft and then end up at the preseason to get back on track. Or maybe not. Maybe the end of the draft will be the new stopping point, and we'll go the 1 calendar year from there. But guys, that'll do it for this one. Of course, I hope you did enjoy. This series has been ridiculous. I'm absolutely loving it. And well, I know some of you were still kind of on the fence about this series. Hopefully, the past few episodes have helped change your mind, because this has been a whole lot of fun. And I'm already waiting for I don't want to wait for the next episode. I want to record it already, but I do need your input as far as what we should do next with the amount of draft picks. So again, that'll do it for this one. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, you know what you can do to support the video and the channel. Leave a like and subscribe if you have not already done so. Links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. Give me a follow on both of those platforms if you haven't already. Twitter's good for just everything. And Twitch, of course, do follow me, because I live stream basically every night. A little bit later on, though. Like normal starting time. Like the earliest normal starting time is like 9 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I kind of stream late into the night. But that's the deal. Yeah. So for now, have a good one, guys. Take it easy. And I will catch you next time.